Hey guys, we're back to another video. Today we're talking about our severe weather outbreaks possible. There's a few waves of severe weather possible, so we're going to talk about that in today's video. First of all, our first round is going to move into Texas. Here, as you see on my thumbnail, this area, we'll see the first thing, severe weather. And then, I see a severe weather threat coming up. This is next week, but could change. But right now, it's showing very, very high CAPE values. I'll show that in today's video. That's why that area is in the darker red. Um, um, so yeah, we also have a lighter red area. That's where you could see severe weather, just not as likely as the dark red regions, and then the orange region could see a little bit of severe weather. Because today we could see severe weather around this area, a marginal risk, and so we're going to talk about that in today's video. So, let's get into today's video here, and you see here, this is my thumbnail here, like usual, how it looks, and yeah, let's look at the Storm Prediction Center's outlook here for today. Wait a minute. Okay. Um, you see a marginal risk extending from Kansas, Oklahoma, going all the way up into about Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, some of those areas. Seeing a marginal risk today, not too big a risk. Tornado risk, less than 2%. Hail risk, a tiny bit of a hail risk around this region. Maybe a tiny bit of a hail risk possibly today. And the wind risk, mainly up toward this region up here, and there's a tiny bit of wind chance possible with some of the storms. While we're talking about the storms, let's real quick look at radar here. We're going to look at my radar. Look up on my radar. We see a severe thunderstorm warning here for South St. Louis. This includes Perryville right now. A severe thunderstorm. Let's see what kind of information it says. Severe thunderstorm warning till 3:15. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. So be careful if you're in the way of the storm. By the time this is going to be going out, probably near Jonesboro. Be careful. And then near Venina, moving toward that direction, maybe near Harrisburg. So be careful if you're in the way of the storm. There is quite a bit of rain, so some flash flooding is possible here in this region. Some rain here, a little break in this area, and then some rain around that area. So yeah, and then we see some lighter rain toward this region here, as you see, some lighter rain. So yeah, that's what we're seeing on radar right now. Okay, so let's get back to our outlook. I want to real quick mention this mesocyclone discussion. The probability of a watch issue is at 20%, so there's really not going to be a watch. It's unlikely. Thunderstorms may undergo further um, this afternoon while spreading eastward, posing some threat of severe weather, hail and wind. No tornado threat. But there is a 20% chance of watch going out, but I don't expect one. So let's go back to the outlook for day 2. Outlook, and we see a marginal risk all the way from about New Mexico, probably Texas, all the way back into Missouri. A marginal risk, and then a slight risk for tomorrow from Texas and Oklahoma, maybe a little bit in New Mexico, maybe see. We could see a slight risk of severe weather. I'm continue to watch that. I will show you guys my outlook around the end of the video for all 3 days. But there is a slight risk around this region, so we're going to have to watch that very closely, and we're going to talk about that later in this video. The tornado threat for day 2 outlook is a 2% chance, so there's a possible tornado risk around this region tomorrow, so we're going to have to watch that very, very carefully. The hail threat for tomorrow is 5%, and then a 15% chance of some hail tomorrow, so we'll probably see some hail in some of these storms tomorrow. And then the wind threat here, as we see, a 5 and 15% chance around this region. There's 5, and there's a 15% chance. So in this region. Let's look at our day 3 categorical outlook. We see a marginal risk going all the way from Texas all the way up into about Colorado, Kansas. And then we see a slight risk region here. I think this should be included a little more around over here. Some of the models are showing the storms are going to develop around this region, and then move the squall line toward that region. So maybe the marginal risk or even slight risk should move a little toward this region. But yeah, you'll see that in my forecast of my categorical outlook forecast when at the end of the video. But from Texas all the way up to Kansas, there is a slight risk of severe weather. We cannot look at tornado, hail, or wind until tomorrow. So yeah, the day 4 probability outlook, I'm just gonna call it. There is a 15% chance around this region here of some severe weather. I really feel like this is gonna be possibly downgraded to a marginal risk. I'm surprised it is a 15% chance because it doesn't look like much cape will be moving toward this region. Like I'll tell you guys at the end of the video, it could change, but it really doesn't look like much cape. So I really don't think there will be much for storms here. But we'll watch it. 15% chance though, possible. That's a slight risk of severe weather. So we'll continue to watch that here. Okay, now let's look at the models, what they're saying. So this is about now, about maybe a few minutes later or earlier, and we see some thunderstorms moving toward this region, bringing some very, very heavy rain toward this region here. Let's fast forward even more. We see continuing rain. Flash flooding is going to be a big threat in this region. Flash flooding is going to be quite a big threat, not just severe weather, flash flooding too. Could see some wind and hail around this region too. Because if we look at Cape here around this time, there is a little bit of Cape around that region, so that's why I say there could be a little bit of a severe weather chance of that. So, yeah. You guys are going to continue to watch that. Then we keep moving on. We see still more rain in this area. This rain just continues and continues for quite a bit, so that's going to bring a lot of flash flooding around that region, maybe some thunderstorms into Oklahoma. If we look at the Cape around this time, we see most of the Cape is in Oklahoma by this time, but there still is a Cape over here. There's still some Cape over there, but most of the Cape will be in Texas, in southern Texas, will be most of the Cape will be in. So, yeah, so most of the energy will be in Oklahoma later on tonight. And then if we keep fasting forwards, we still see rain, not as heavy as it's showing, but we could still see some rain, maybe some heavier pockets at times. And we see a little bit of rain toward this region where we could see maybe a little bit of severe weather, but just a marginal severe weather, not too big of a risk. And then we continue to see thunderstorms in this area. Moving into tomorrow, probably actually later on tonight. And we see some thunderstorms start to develop in Texas. Those could possibly be severe. Then we see some thunderstorms in southern Missouri, some rain. So we continue to see a flash flood threat around this region here. That's what I'm most concerned about. And we could start seeing severe weather around this region maybe in the morning here, because I think there is Cape here in this region. If we look around this region, there's a lot of Cape at this time. This is about probably, I'd say, it says Friday morning, about like probably 2 a.m. in the morning. We're seeing quite a bit of Cape in this region. So, yeah, we could be seeing maybe a little bit of severe weather in the early morning. So maybe around Texas, you might want to have your weather radio. If you're up toward this region in Texas, you might want to have your weather radio by you tonight, just in case of any strong storms do develop. And then this moves into Texas, or starting to move into Oklahoma. We still see thunderstorms we look at Cape, there's probably still some Cape in here. Yep, there's still some Cape in here if you look. So, yeah, we'll see possibly a severe weather threat in that region. And then we'll continue to see rain in this area here. So, flash flooding threat is going to be a very big threat in that area. Let's fast forward even more. This storm moves into Kansas. Some possibly rain, maybe still severe weather. Cape, we still have a little bit of Cape, not as much as it was like at 2 a.m. in the morning, but still some Cape is around that region. Let's fast forward a little more, and then thunderstorms possibly around this region. If I'm gonna highlight this region so we can look at the Cape here. If we look at the Cape, we see a little bit of Cape around that region. Around that time, about Friday, probably 10 a.m. in the morning, probably about. We're seeing a little bit of Cape in this region where thunderstorms are, but not much up toward this region. So, yeah, we could be seeing some areas of severe weather, some areas of not that much severe weather. Let me keep fast forward a little more. Then we see this area rain that came from Texas move into this area again, where you continue to see flash flooding happen. So that's what I'm most concerned about, this flash flooding in this area. And then we look at the Cape around this time. We see a little bit of Cape in Texas, Oklahoma. No Cape really in this area, so no severe weather expected around this time. Then we fast forward into about Friday night, about 8 or 9, 10 or 10, and we see some thunderstorms start to develop in Texas. We look at Cape. We see quite a bit of Cape in this region. Here, we see quite a bit of Cape developing around Friday into Saturday. We see Cape possibly are in this area, and then we see thunderstorm possibly developing, and then it just a few thunderstorms could develop around this region. So we'll have to watch that for around Friday night into Saturday. So yeah. And then we continue to see thunderstorms about Saturday morning, about 6 a.m. in the morning. We see some thunderstorms in this area. If we look at Cape again, we still see quite a bit of Cape around this region. So we could be seeing severe weather around that region. And then we continue to see thunderstorms move up toward this region. Probably not as severe, maybe a little bit. Actually, there is a little bit of Cape around that region, so might have to watch for some severe weather, possibly around this region up there. Then we start seeing some severe weather over here, kind of a squall line, and some Cape up toward this region, a little bit of Cape. So yeah, if we look at dew points, let's real quick check that. About 40 degrees. I think you need about 50 degrees for severe weather. So probably about this area isn't the best for severe weather, but there could be maybe a little bit of severe weather, but usually it's better with 50 and 60 degree weather, so there might not be as much severe weather with the dew points as they are. But we could see maybe a tiny bit of severe weather. And they'll move into this area and then kind of weaken around this region. We see rain, thunderstorms for this area up here, where you're seeing flash flooding possible. If we look at Cape, maybe some of these storms may be a little severe, not too severe though. And then we can move on. We see a squall line move into this area. We see storms start to develop around this region. On about Saturday night, about into Sunday. So if we look at Cape, we see very, very high Cape around this region. Quite a bit of Cape all the way from Kansas all the way down to Texas. And then if we look at the radar about this time, we see thunderstorms are in that Cape area, so we could be seeing severe weather. And if we look at dew points, we see 60 degrees, so we see enough for severe weather. 40 degrees up here, so it's less likely, but still possible for maybe a little bit of severe weather, but more likely down here. And we're seeing thunderstorms in that area. we're going to watch for a big severe weather threat into Saturday night into Sunday. And then squall line that continues to move through this region. So yeah, and if you look in Kansas, there's like tons of rain moving through this area. So we're going to be worried maybe a little bit about flash flooding around that area. So now we're going to look at the GFS here for the rest of this. So the GFS is saying storms could develop around this area around Saturday afternoon. Thinking that storms could develop around that region, with there being some cape around this region, and then dew points about 60s. About this is showing 50 degrees, so enough for severe weather. So it's thinking it's going to be a little more to the west of their region they put out a slight risk in. But we'll move into that slight risk region here around Saturday into Sunday. So yeah. So, and then I think there will not be a big threat of severe weather on Sunday. The reason why I think there will not be much severe weather, if you look here, there is no cape at all. And cape is food for thunderstorms. There's no cape at all. With no cape here for thunderstorms, most likely there will not be a big severe weather threat. I think dew points are enough though for severe weather. It's just no cape. 59 yachts, enough for severe weather, but there's like no cape, so most likely there will not be a big severe weather threat. It'll be more of a rain event, it looks more like, but still the Storm Prediction Center thinks there will be a severe weather possibility around this region. The storms will move through. If we look on here, cape again, we see a little bit of cape around Sunday, but that's why I think it should be a margin risk, because it's very, very low of cape though. And we don't see much cape around Oklahoma, Texas, where they have it at. So I think it's not going to be too big a severe weather risk. It's not looking that likely. But then, because by this is actually Monday around the morning. So yeah, because if you look on Sunday, the whole day is Sunday. Because this is when the severe weather risk is supposed to be. Maybe by the end of the day on Sunday into Monday. So yeah. And then I think next week is going to be our biggest risk of severe weather. This is why I'm worried. I'm going to go a little more quicker here. If you look on here, there is quite a bit of cape that comes in around next Tuesday. And then going into about Wednesday, March 17th, we see very, very high cape. This is what I'm concerned about next week. There'll be quite a bit of cape here, so that's actually a lot of cape for thunderstorms. See, it doesn't look like there's any thunderstorms in the region. Actually, it does look like there's some thunderstorms. That's why I'm kind of worried in Dixie Alley next week of some thunderstorms. If we look at dew points around this time, they're definitely well enough for severe weather. So I think by next Thursday, Tuesday and Thursday next week will be a big severe weather days. Very big severe weather days, especially with that much cape here. That's about 3,000 to 4,000 cape around this area here. In those light, like pink almost shades, and then the purple shades. 10,000 or 1,000, 2,000. So a lot of cape. That's why I think next week we will see a big severe weather event on next Thursday, Wednesday night into Thursday. Then we see still quite a bit of cape, but not as much cape around that area as it moves through. And then the cape moves out. So that's what I'm kind of concerned about. Let me just show radar here as this moves through. See thunderstorms start to develop there around that area. Possibly some strong thunderstorms moving through. So yeah. And let me look at the dew points real quick. It'll definitely be enough for severe weather. Yeah, let's look at my outlooks now real quick, because I know it's been quite a bit of a long video. Here's my thumbnail. Let me go to the next slide here. It'll take a second. Come on. Okay. This is the risk for March 11th, so that's today, a marginal risk going from Oklahoma all the way to Ohio. So I agree with the National Weather Service on this today, because it's looking like most likely this area will be a marginal risk. Maybe a little more toward this region though for severe weather, but we could still see severe weather down here. We'll continue to watch that. Let's look at tomorrow. We see I put out a slight risk for this region because it's showing that most likely that area could see some severe weather moving through. So enough for some severe weather around that area, and then moving up toward this region up here. Not bringing much severe weather up here, but flash flooding is going to be the threat up there. And then if we look at our day 3 outlook, I have a slight risk in this region because it's looking like they're going to develop around this region and then move into the slight risk region they put out. I might, in the next video we make, if I make another one tomorrow, I might move the slight risk a little more into this region maybe. So watch out if I do have another video tomorrow. So thank you though guys for watching. We are not going to be showing tornado outlook or any of that in this video, because it's been like 22 minutes about. So later today I will have my spring forecast out, so don't forget to go check that out. But thank you though guys for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.